In this next problem, we're going to do what we just did with our summarized profit and loss, but this time for our summarized balance sheet. Do you think you can create it just like you did with the profit and loss? Go ahead and pause and meet me back here whenever you're ready. Okay, so notice that this actually has dates going across the top as well. I like to do that because I oftentimes will want to take snapshots from my financial models, and it's actually really easy to do that. As such, I can just copy and hit Alt-H-V and then U for pasting as a picture right over here. So now I could just drop this right in PowerPoint with the relevant data. So it shouldn't be too tough for us to now create the same thing over here because a lot of the design is just going to be repeated. So I'm going to actually select these 3 rows and I am going to come here. Let's give one row as a blank row. And I'm going to now call this balance sheet. And I could remove the freeze panes. All right, let's also just take this information and copy and paste it. Only this time, I'm going to call it assets. All right, now in terms of the assets, the most important one is going to be cash or cash and cash equivalents. Then we have accounts receivable, inventory, other current assets, fixed assets, and then other assets could just be a catch-all. All right, let's do the same thing now for liabilities. The biggest liabilities for me to track are going to be accounts payable, deferred revenue, other current liabilities, and then let's just call it debt. We could also call it long-term debt or long-term liabilities. And finally, we have equity. And to me, the most important equity accounts are retained earnings and contributed capital. All right, now that we have all of this outlined, I am just going to copy the formatting from an account above in order to get our accounts to appear more pretty. And I'm just going to do the same thing actually over here. I'll just copy and I'll hold down Shift and then Control V to paste. Now my assets formula definitely needs to be adjusted. So I'm just going to sum all of this information over here. And I really only need to fill out this information for the first column and then copy it through. So I will now say equals sum over here. And then this will also be a sum of what's below. Now I can just take this information, copy it, drag it to the right, and paste. So now if I just type in 500, my information will populate over there and over here and over here. All right, this is a good starting point. Later on in our course, we're going to go ahead and actually populate all these.